If you have ever gone online and typed how to make a girl like me, I'm willing to bet you've seen hundreds of different pieces of advice. Some people tell you to hit the gym and build a muscular body. Others say that if a man doesn't have money, he shouldn't even dream about dating. Then there are those who tell you to learn flirting techniques, clever lines that make women fall hard, and very likely, you believed it. You believed that you were missing something. You believed that if you just tried a little harder, changed a little more, then things would be different. But at some point, you look back at reality. You see many men who are in good relationships, who are loved and respected by women. They are not extremely rich, not exceptionally handsome. They don't know any complicated flirting tricks. So the question becomes, what do they have that you don't? Or is the truth that from the very beginning, we've been asking the wrong question? The problem is not that you lack a body, lack money, or lack skills. The problem is that you are looking for answers in a place that will never give you the right ones. And when you realize that, many things begin to become simpler than you thought. Back when I was a student, I was exactly like many people listening to this video. I wanted women's attention. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to feel that I had value in their eyes, and I did everything people told me to do. I dressed more neatly, paid attention to every word I said, thought for a long time before sending a single text message, and even tried to act like someone different from who I really was. I believed that if I just tried a little harder, became a little more refined, everything would work out. But the result? I'm sure you can guess. I was still ignored, still rejected. And worst of all, I didn't understand what I had done wrong. The feeling back then was extremely frustrating, like running at full speed while staying in the same place. Until one day, a friend handed me a book and said, "Try reading this. Maybe you'll understand." I read it in a week, and when I closed the book, the feeling was strange. Not excitement from learning new tricks, but a feeling as if someone had just pulled the curtain away from my eyes. The fog cleared. I realized something very simple that I had never thought about before. Attracting women is not about doing more, not about trying harder, not about performing better. It's about letting go of fear, letting go of the need for validation, and most importantly, letting go of the belief that you are not enough. There is a very important truth that most men overlook. Women do not react to surface-level things like appearance, words, or money in the way you think. Those things are secondary. What they truly react to is the emotional state you carry when you are around them. Put simply, she is less focused on what you say and more on how she feels when she is with you. If inside you are tense, anxious, afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid of rejection, then no matter how normal you try to appear, your body still broadcasts that signal. Your voice may sound rushed, your eyes uncertain, your movements unnatural. You don't need to say anything, she still feels it. And when a woman senses that you are not comfortable with yourself, she cannot feel comfortable with you. On the other hand, when you enter a conversation in a calm, relaxed state without trying to prove anything, without needing to be liked at all costs, the atmosphere around you changes noticeably. You speak more slowly, your gaze becomes steadier, your reactions more natural. At that point, she is no longer analysing whether you're saying the right things or whether you meet certain standards. She simply feels comfortable being around you, and that is the foundation of attraction. Women do not sit there logically grading men like an exam. They feel. She feels whether you are comfortable in your own skin, whether you believe in your own value, whether you're truly present or merely playing a role in order to be accepted. And this is the most important sentence you need to remember. She feels what you feel. When you feel that you are enough, she begins to feel that you are enough as well. And when you no longer need her validation, that is when she begins to feel curious about you. The biggest mistake I see in many men, and one that I myself used to make, is placing women on too high a pedestal. Not a healthy respect, but the unconscious act of seeing her as the one who has the power to decide your value. You try to please her, weigh every word you say, fear saying the wrong thing, fear losing her approval. You ask yourself whether this sentence is okay, whether that action is too much, and what you should do to make her like you more. But let me be clear about one thing. It's not because you care too much. It's because deep down, you don't truly believe that you are already enough. When a man does not believe in his own value, He looks for ways to borrow that feeling from the outside, and women become the easiest place for him to seek validation. When you need her smile to feel okay, need her positive response to feel valuable, in that very moment, you have handed your power over to her. You place her in the role of the evaluator, while you become the one waiting for the results. And the irony is, these women are not attracted to men who need them in order to feel complete. Not because those men are bad, but because that dynamic creates an invisible burden. She senses that if she leaves, you will collapse, and no one is attracted to having to carry responsibility for someone else's emotional state. When a man enters an interaction without needing validation, without needing to be right, without needing to be liked at all costs, the entire atmosphere changes. At that point, he is no longer trying to extract value from her. He brings his own value into the conversation. And that is a difference women always feel, even if they cannot name it. One very important thing many people misunderstand is the belief that attractive men are men who never get rejected. The truth is the complete opposite. An attractive man is not someone who is always chosen, but someone who does not let rejection determine his value. When you approach a woman with only one goal in mind, I have to succeed. I cannot fail, you put yourself under immediate pressure. Every reaction from her then becomes a test of your self-worth, and that is precisely what causes you to stop being yourself. But when you approach a woman with a simpler intention to experience, to converse, to be fully present in that moment then, regardless of the outcome, you are still okay. If she smiles, great. If she is not interested, that's fine too. You lose nothing. You are still you. Indifference to the outcome is not coldness or emotional numbness. It is a sign that you're not living in fear of loss. You understand that one woman's reaction cannot define who you are. And when you're not afraid of losing, you begin to speak more naturally, more comfortably. You stop trying to control the outcome, and paradoxically, that very freedom is what makes you far more attractive. There is a very clear difference between a man who is weak in position and a man who has value, and it lies in how they choose. A weak-positioned man tends to accept anyone who comes into his life, not because that person is truly compatible, but because he fears missing out, fears loneliness, fears that there will be no other opportunities. In contrast, a man with value chooses, not because he is arrogant or looks down on others, but because he knows what he wants in life and in a relationship. He understands that being alone is better than being with someone who requires him to trade away himself. When you have clear standards and principles, you're not easily swayed by appearance, attention, or fleeting emotions. You do not rush because of a bit of interest, and you do not cling because of a few messages. And it is precisely at that point that women begin to invest in understanding you. She is no longer certain that she has you simply because she wants you. She begins to observe you, listen to you, and look for ways to connect more deeply. Not because you are playing psychological games, but because you do not give your value away too easily. A man with principles does not try to keep someone at all costs. If a relationship requires him to constantly compromise things that go against who he truly is, he is willing to walk away. And that very ability to walk away without noise, without threats, is what creates inner strength. When you are not afraid of being alone, you no longer have to settle. And when you do not settle, you naturally become the one who is chosen. Everything I have shared in this video is not meant to send you out into the world to try to conquer more women, nor is it a collection of tricks to win the dating game. What I want you to understand is simply this. It is time to stop making yourself smaller just to be chosen by someone. When you no longer need validation to feel that you are enough, when you're no longer afraid of losing a woman and therefore trading away your principles, attraction begins to emerge naturally. No effort required, no performance, no proving. You do not have to become someone else. You only need to return to your rightful place, a man who knows his own value, knows what he wants, and does not panic when someone walks away. Attraction at this point is no longer loud, flashy, or competitive. It comes from inner stability. It is simply you, standing still within who you are. And strangely enough, that is the very version that makes others want to stay.